kidnapping people and demanding ransom. And in the northeast of the country,
Nigeria's former military dictator turned democratic president Muhammadu Buhari has died, and reactions to his passing have been as divided as the legacy he leaves behind. Buhari, who first ruled Nigeria with an iron fist in the 1980s before returning decades later as an elected president, died in a London clinic on Sunday afternoon. His death was confirmed by his former aide, Bashir Ahmed, who announced it via a post on social media platform X. While some Nigerians have expressed sorrow over the passing of a man they regard as a patriot and reformist, others have seized the moment to revisit the deep scars left by his years in power, both military and civilian. Born in 1942 in Daura, Katsina State, Muhammadu Buhari came to national attention after staging a coup in December 1983 that ousted the democratically elected government of President Shehu Shagari. As the military head of state, from 1983 to 1985, Buhari's regime was defined by strict discipline, a fierce anti-corruption stance, and the controversial war against indiscipline campaign. Though praised in some circles for trying to restore order in a chaotic economy, his government quickly gained notoriety for harsh decrees, mass arrests without trial, press censorship, and suppression of dissent. His regime was toppled by General Ibrahim Babangida in 1985. After decades away from power, Buhari re-emerged as a democratic figure. He contested the presidency multiple times before achieving a historic victory in 2015, defeating incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan. He would go on to serve 2 terms from 2015 to 2023. The passing of the former Nigerian President Buhari has sparked a flurry of mixed reactions across the country, particularly on social media, where citizens are reflecting on his complex legacy. While some of his loyal supporters have taken to various platforms to mourn his death and celebrate his contributions to the nation, others have not held back in expressing strong criticism of his time in office. Buhari, often hailed as a disciplined and incorruptible leader during his early political years, was widely known for his anti-corruption rhetoric. However, critics argue that his time in office as a civilian president from 2015 to 2023 failed to live up to that promise. Many Nigerians remember his administration for unprecedented levels of hardship, rising insecurity, and troubling human rights violations. One of the darkest moments frequently mentioned is the Lekki Tollgate shooting of October 20th, 2020, widely referred to as the Lekki Massacre, where peaceful EndSARS protesters calling for an end to police brutality were allegedly shot at by military personnel. The Buhari administration was accused of downplaying the incident and failing to ensure accountability despite national outrage and international attention. Other human rights concerns, such as the detention of journalists, activists, and the shrinking of civic space, also defined much of his presidency. Economically, millions of Nigerians were plunged into deeper hardship amid fuel price hikes, inflation, high unemployment, and growing insecurity across multiple parts of the country. Still, Buhari's legacy is not without defenders. Supporters have pointed to his investments in infrastructure, such as railways, roads, and social intervention programs like NPAR, as signs of progress under his watch. Others recall his firm leadership style and attempts to instill accountability in government institutions. Let's see how some Nigerians are reacting on social media. Now, this one is at Fumilayo. She says, "We need a public holiday to process this. I recommend 14th to 18th July. Renowned journalist Fisayo says, "At the end of the day, late President Muhammadu Buhari will be largely remembered as that one Nigerian president who had every single ingredient to succeed in office, especially unprecedented public goodwill, but ultimately plotted to deceive and eventually failed. A president, for example, who hides the pump price of petrol, and the people gladly opted to endure rather than protest." Harrison says, Buhari's death is not a result of your prayers or curses. He lived a full life and achieved the greatest things he dreamt of. He died like every other human will at the end. If you like, keep voting idiots and expect them to die because they made living difficult for you. Renowned lawyer Inibehe Effiong says, the death of former President Buhari in London should offer the Nigerian political class another opportunity for sobriety and circumspection. As president, Buhari had 8 years to offer selfless leadership and change the country for the better. He abused and missed that golden opportunity. Buhari had all the power and resources to build a standard hospital in Nigeria that would have catered for his medical needs, but he failed to do so. Emperor says the tweets I am seeing about Buhari are disturbing. The Director General of the World Trade Organization says, unbelievable. I did not know just how ill His Excellency President Buhari was, and minutes after sending my well wishes, I have just learned that he passed away. I am so very sad. May the soul of His Excellency at Buhari rest in perfect peace. My deepest condolences to the entire Buhari family and his close aides and associates.
A difficult undertaking.
Conversations around Muhammadu Buhari's legacy remain heated, revealing a nation still grappling with the consequences of his rule, even in mourning.